So I had a dream last night that I was invited to a wedding of a close friend of mine. And the wedding was going to be in Hawaii, which is not near where I live. So it was going to be extensive travel to get there. But I was going to do it because this was a close friend. And she was actually marrying into a family of another friend. And so I was excited for her because I know this other family too. So I arranged my travel to get there, but I did not arrange my travel to get back. But for some reason, when I arrived in Hawaii, all of a sudden I was there for a different wedding. And this was a wedding of a coworker whom I'm not really close with. So I was embarrassed because when the coworker came out to start greeting guests who were arriving for the wedding, I was one of the first guests to arrive, and she couldn't believe it because we really are not that close. We're basically just acquaintances, and she couldn't believe that I had traveled that far for her wedding, and I was embarrassed because we're not close. And so the fact that I had traveled that far, plus I didn't have any arrangements to get back, so she asked how long I would be staying, and I said indefinitely. But it was weird because her family started arriving, and they were arriving in boats. And so I went to help some of them, and they were arriving in small boats, basically fishing boats. And so I find out that there are two ladies in this one fishing boat, and they're sitting side by side. And I find out that these ladies are her aunts. And so I was going to help her aunts get out of the boat. And one of the aunts is a very large lady. And the first time she tries to throw some of her belongings onto a dock, and when she does so, the boat sort of, moves like it's gonna capsize. And everybody yelled and screamed at her to not do that again. Well, before she does ultimately do that again, but before she does it again, I'm looking at her, and I notice that her legs are humongous, but they are also made of glass. Not that they look like glass, they are glass, like glass vases, ginormous glass vases that have paint on them. And I was just so taken with her legs because I had never seen anyone with glass legs. And so while I'm looking at her legs, she reaches again, and this time the boat flips. Well, the other aunt, the aunt without glass legs, was able to swim safely away. And I don't know where she went. She just went away, but for some reason I knew she was safe. The woman with glass legs, it was almost like we just all looked at each other and thought, we're never going to see her again. It was the strangest thing. It was like she just disappeared under the water. Like there was no effort made by her or anyone. And then when the realization hit that we were going to have to tell my coworker that, her aunt had just perished in the water right before her wedding, it just got really heavy, and we all started crying. And then I woke up.